Hey, yo, it's just John today. We're back with another try at this. Last week, if you're a listener, we did Talking Teams National League. I went through all 15 teams and I ended up having to kind of speed through it. And I want to go back to the original idea. I will do my best to get this done on schedule, or at least not completely stop. But the idea now is back to the original idea I had to go through each team on a circuit. Ideally, it's 2 podcasts a week, 2 divisions a week, and every 3 weeks we cover everybody. So this one is going to be AL East, and hopefully the end of the week we can do NL East, and then next week do AL Central and NL Central, and then AL West and NL West the following week, and then in 3 weeks we'll be back to the East, and we'll have a bunch more, 3 weeks of games, 17, 18 more games between now and then. And we'll just try to do that all year, at least until, once you get to like late August, it's almost pointless to really talk about like team management and fantasy advice and stuff, because it's like, over and trade deadlines and stuff. You can't really change your team anyway, even if you wanted to. But certainly for the first like month or two here, going to be very important to stay on top of it. I probably shouldn't eat during the podcast, but I'm going to lose more weight because I have so much stuff to do. I have like a million things to do between 7 and 4 o'clock when I have to get off the computer with like basically 2 full-time jobs now. Not to make this a complaint, but eating is like something that takes a back seat, which isn't good. I'm going to like disappear off the face of the earth. But yeah, let's do this. Start with the Yankees. We'll look at playing time. We'll look at hitter stats and pitcher stats. I think that's a good way to do it. So we'll cycle through that, and whatever else comes up along the way, we will let that happen. I'm going to pull up some like other stuff, but on the screen is it's like a little playing time grid. So it'll show you the full amount of starts and where every guy's hit in the lineup and how many times. So I'll talk through that. I'm always assuming here that people aren't watching, which I think is the right assumption. You're probably just listening in the car or on a walk or at work or something while doing other things. That's how I do it. So I also just want to pulling up the transaction tracker just to see, because I don't, there's 30 teams and it's always a little bit tricky to keep track, but I don't see any big news for the Yankees. No like injury news that I've heard of, but yeah, on the screen again, let's talk about just kind of playing time. So it's been Trent Grisham leading off 8 times, and then Judge, Bellinger, Rice pretty much every day there. Ben Rice has sat 1 time. Didn't he sit? I think he sat like the first or second game of the year against a lefty. So I also need to pull up the platoon tracker over here. That's not going to be on your screen, but this is going to be important stuff to realize, because on this table, this is just the raw all games. So what you really need to do is look at kind of the splits, and I'll talk through that as well. So yeah, the Yankees have faced 8 righties at this point and 1 lefty. That 1 lefty, Ben Rice, went down for Goldschmidt. So Goldschmidt's in there. Just 2 starts. He led off once. He hit 5th once. So that's pretty much going how we thought it would be. It's not great news for Ben Rice, but again, it's only one time against lefties. I do not think it's going to be strict with him, but so far they've been loaded up on righties. So Ben Rice has been in there hitting 4th and looking pretty good, I believe. Stanton's still healthy, so he's hitting 5th 7 times. He's gotten 2, not just 1 off day. But yeah, it looks like Grisham's the leadoff man against righties. Randall Grichuk. Goldschmidt made the other leadoff start against the lefty there. So all pretty much, 9 guys have 7+ starts. So they're starting 9 is clear, but Rosario, Goldschmidt maybe get in there. Grichuk maybe get in there against lefties, but haven't seen a ton there. So anyway, pretty clear, like Bellinger, Chisholm, Judge, Grisham, kind of the guys for the Yankees. Not a ton of lineup stuff to talk about. Here's the hitter stats from the main dashboard. Again, I didn't like prepare anything. I'm just kind of looking at these for almost the first time along with you. if you're looking. This is from the main dashboard. If you're a paid subscriber at any level, you get that. Go into the resource glossary, hit up that. It's like one of the top links, just the main MLB 2026 dashboard. So, yeah, Ben Rice off to a ripping start. He's actually looking like the best hitter. Not saying he is, but him and Judge, 3 homers each. Ben Rice, 370 average, 28% barrel rate. My goodness, 25% K rate, 25% walk rate, 69% contact rate. So making, maybe pitchers have fooled him a little bit more often early on. A 467 BABIP, 61% ground ball rate. So this is actually a really interesting profile on Ben Rice. As many strikeouts as walks, but a lot of both, 25%. That's 9 strikeouts and 9 walks in 36 trips to the plate. But when he's hit the ball, 3 homers, again, a 28% barrel rate for Rice. Weirdly, a 61% ground ball rate and a 512 xwOBA, 467 BABIP. So kind of strange to put together a 28% barrel rate with a 61% ground ball rate. Like, that almost doesn't even make mathematical sense. You've hit almost all, more than half of you cannot have a barrel on a ground ball. So it seems like pretty much every ball he's hit in the air has been a barrel. So obviously a little bit unsustainable there. 852 slugging, unsustainable, but good start for Rice. It's kind of just wanted to make sure that he's hitting for power against righties. That's where the value is going to come from. And again, like hitting 5th, playing first base, it's going to be a nice season for him. Even if he does have to sit once a week for a lefty or whatever, it's going to be like you're going to get really nice stuff from catcher there. Trent Grisham off to, he was kind of he's 54% owned. That's like a CVS kind of thing, kind of ownership there. So, might be available, flip a coin, whatever. Daily leagues where you can start him against righties, bench him against lefties. That's kind of what you thought that was kind of the case for him. But so far, no homers. Some barrels, 18% barrel rate. So he's got a few of those at least. 59% hard hit rate, 18% K rate. Underlying stuff looking pretty good. Walking a lot. Trent Grisham is swing rate super low. He's always been patient. 33% swing rate. So 3 true outcome guy, I guess, without really the strikeouts. 24% walk rate again for Trent Grisham. Just taking pitches, waiting for his pitch. Again, barrels are there. No homers yet. K's in good shape. Walking a lot. I don't know. Well, we don't really like walks for like 10-team, 12-team roto leagues, right? Categories leagues, walks aren't all that great, but OBP league, give him a plus, and it's nice to lead off ahead of these guys on the Yankees. And as long as he's doing some things and getting on base, I think he'll stay at 1 for the Yankees, a very valuable spot to be. Bellinger, only 4 strikeouts, and it looks like, what is that, 9 walks or something? He's got 425 on base percentage. This Yankee team is very, very patient. 42% swing rate. That's 5 points below average as a team. So they've been patient. Maybe they're just seeing a lot of balls. I don't know. The league walk rate is pretty high right now. It's pretty much all or nothing for the Yankees. They're going to swing not often. They're going to strike out often. 26% team K rate. They're going to hit a bunch of homers. They have a team 13.6% barrel rate. Aaron Judge at 26% with Rice, 2 guys over 25% barrel rate. So lots of barrels, lots of strikeouts, lots of walks. That's the Yankees. In terms of like management stuff, I'm not going to really make any like roster advice so far, other than maybe some speculative ads and stuff. Jazz Chisholm's out of the gate showing you his volatility. I think he's going to have cold streaks, he's going to have hot streaks, and sometimes you just start the year with one of those. And it looks like Chisholm has started with a bit of a cold streak. 32% K rate for Jazz, 167 average, 167 expected, 204 expected WOBA. It's all been bad, but he will be just fine. Of course, it's 38 plate appearances. Let's go to the pitching side. I don't know, buy low on Chisholm if you can. I guess that's just going to be the general advice, right? Like any known commodity that's doing well, we try to see if we can sell high if you have them, and any known commodity that's doing poorly, the reverse. You try to buy low if you can. I don't think, most leagues aren't going to have somebody panic selling on Jazz Chisholm, but whatever. If you can trade a 3rd round, 4th round pick that if you took a guy in the 4th round that's having a good start, I don't have an example on top of my head, and you can trade him for Jazz Chisholm, like a 2nd round value player, then you do that every time. Pitching wise, it's been Fried with 3 starts, Weathers with 2 starts, Warren, Schlittler with 2 to make up their 9 starts. Is that right? 9, 3 plus 6 is 9. Yes, it is. So Max Fried doing Max Fried things, not getting the strikeouts, only a 19% K rate, 8.6% swinging strike rate. That's really low. And that turns into kind of a bad indicators. He's going to do better than that. He's not going to be a 19% K rate guy. He's not going to be a sub 9% swinging strike rate, Max Fried. But he's not going to be a 28% K rate guy. He's going to be 23, 24% with a good 6, 7, 5, 6, 7% walk rate. The key point is just what we see here already from Max Fried. 0% barrel rate, hasn't a lot of barrel, hasn't a lot of home run, has allowed a 185 BABIP. That's overly low, but he's always a low BABIP guy. And he's allowed a 1.02 whip plus. Now, whip plus is total bases per inning, including walks. The average is 1.9. 102 is impossible to keep up, but it just shows you, like, this is what the guy does. Doesn't need the stuff, doesn't need the whiffs, just puts up good numbers because people can't square him up. Great command, great mix, whatever it is. Pitchability, I don't know what you want to call it, but Fried's doing Fried things. Will Warren, if there's a chance that you can sell him for anything at all, I'm just not a believer. Dominant against righties, still bad against lefties. Owen Casey took him deep last week to make us some money in the home run world. 10 innings for Warren, though, at a good start for him. 22.5% K rate, 5% walk rate. That's a 17.5% K minus walk. He's allowed just a 696 OPS. 6.9% barrel rate allowed for Warren. In 10 innings, I just don't think he's long for it. I mean, I guess it's not as like loaded as it looked like it could be, the Yankees rotation, because, you know, Garrett Cole's coming back, Carlos Rodon are working, they're both working their way back. I think Rodon might have had a setback and Cole's not close. You know, we probably don't have to worry about those two guys in May, but once it comes to June, July, if no more injuries happen and Rodon and Cole both come back, like, I just don't think Warren's going to stick. Because Schlittler and Fried, you know, no questions about Schlittler anymore. Maybe there should be, I don't know, maybe it's 2 starts, but brilliant starts for Schlittler, and his MLB career has looked just like Skeensy, and his numbers are like better than Paul Skeens were, at least for the first 10 starts or whatever. He's had this year for Schlittler, 39.5% K rates, no walks in 2 starts, a ton of strikeouts, 0.76 JAERA. Sorry, that's actually the JA Sierra, 0.76. He's through 2 starts. It's hard to say things like this, but very few pitchers have been more impressive than Schlittler in the first 2 starts. So good sign there, especially with what we saw late last year. Fastballs carrying him. Secondaries have been good enough. Ryan Weathers, though, a little bit disappointing. I mean, he does have the whiffs. Not really, actually. He has the strikeouts, 28% K rate. The whiffs aren't great, 12%. And it's just because he's throwing a ton of balls. He just doesn't have the command. Maybe it'll come back. It's never really been a huge issue for him, but 12.8% walk rate out of the gate for Weathers, not good. 38% ball rate, not good. Hasn't a lot of home run, which helps, but that's coming. He's kind of been a fly ball guy, 39% ground ball rate this year. So he's been not a fly ball rate because only a 17% fly ball rate allowed, but he's not been getting ground balls, and he's always been an error guy. So Weathers has to command it better. Maybe he will. You know, it's the 2nd week of the season right now. We're not even 2 full weeks into the season. So the league is struggling to throw strikes. The Yankees at 6.6% team walk rate aren't, but the league walk rate is up above 9%. It's going to come down as we go, but, you know, you got to forgive a lot of stuff early on, but not efficient for Weathers, and they don't like to see the lack of command. So not great. So that's it for the Yankees, really, that I think we need to talk about. I think I guess you probably want to know what to do with Weathers. 31% owned. I think you can probably drop him if I don't know what the next, like, what the schedule's looking like. I could pull that up. Let me see what his plan is. It doesn't really matter as much because if you're not throwing strikes, it almost doesn't matter who you face. He's got the Athletics and the Angels next, so those are 2 pretty good matchups. But again, he has to throw strikes. Now I'm seeing that my ownership, the Streamlit app says 65% owned on Weathers, and the dashboard says 31%. Those are wildly different numbers. Got to see. Should obviously be using the same source. The plan was to use the same source, but something is wrong there. Probably just some little code thing. But I would, in a 10-team league, I don't think you need Weathers. In a 12-team league, it's borderline. Anything deeper than that, like, you hold on to him. The upside's still there. The stuff is really good. Just, you know, if he can get the command back that he's had in the past and stay healthy, it could be a nice season for him. So I wouldn't give up on him yet. Especially with the Athletics and Angels. Those are 2 really nice matchups. I think the Athletics will hit some home runs on you, especially at home. And I believe that is a start in Sacramento, but they also are striking out a ton, and it seems like a team that will continue to do that. So that's weathers for you. Let's move over to Boston. And let me click around and upload. I don't think, it would be nice if StreamYard would let you do multiple files at once. But let's look at the lineup. So it's the guys that have made every start are Story, Contreras, and Wilyer Abreu. 9 starts each. That's all 9 of the Red Sox games. Story's hit second every time. Contreras has hit fourth every time. Willier's been the 5 guy. Jarren Duran has hit third and let off once. He's got 8 starts. Caleb Durbin has 8 starts. Roman Anthony has 8 starts. Anthony's been the leadoff guy. Durbin's been hitting 6 or 7. We'll have to talk about his early season struggles. So Dan Rafaela, 7 starts. Marcelo Meyer, 7 starts. Carlos Narvaez, 6 starts. Yoshida, 4 starts. Connor Wong, 3 starts. IKF, 2. And Monasterio, 1. So there's a little bit more platooning stuff going on here. Let me pull up the platoon tracker on my other screen and we'll try to figure this out. So Marcelo Meyer has made 8 starts against a righty. Strike that. He's made 7 starts against a righty out of the team's 8 games. The Red Sox have only faced 1 lefty, according to this, and he was down for that one. So 7 out of 8 against righties, 0 for 1 against lefties. Seems probable that he's going to be in a little bit of a platoon guy. Rafaela, it would just look like a normal maintenance day or something like that. Caleb Durbin he had the vote of confidence out of camp to be the third baseman. He hasn't hit yet. I don't know how long, if it were me, I'd be patient. If this was your guy a week ago, why are you going to let, some slow start get to you? But it's not going to be a super long leash for Durbin, who's got 30 plate appearances, 0 hits. 0 home runs, but just 1 hit or maybe 2. He's hitting 0.71. Not strikeouts, though. 20% K rate. That's not his problem. Walking's not. He's walked a few times. 6.7% walk rate. Just a, 0.091 BABIP for him. But it's a 184 XBA. I mean, that's way higher than 0.07, obviously, but it's not good. It's not like he's smoking the ball right at guys. 64% ground ball rate, so just pound it into the ground. Durbin was decent last year. I think he's going to figure that out, but will he lose the job before he does? That's a fair question to ask. Trevor Story, 213 expected batting average, 119 actual, so that's kind of good. He's got 1 homer, a 40% K rate does Trevor Story. He's another dude. Like, there's a lot of these guys on the Red Sox. Well, there's a few of them at least. Story's going to swing hard. He's going to not walk a lot. He's going to strike out a lot, but you're just hoping that the home runs come and that the stolen bases come. And he's like a 30-30 potential guy. Like, that was kind of what he did last year, 2020, pretty easily. Wouldn't be panicking on him at all. I mean, this is just kind of what he does. And again, like in 40 plate appearances, you're talking about guys being extremely susceptible to just variance and randomness and streaks and stuff. So wouldn't move off Story as long as he's healthy. The results should be good, but you always did kind of need to have some batting average built in around him because that was never going to be a thing for him. Like a 213 XBA, that's going to come up, but probably not above 230. That's about what you should expect, like 230, 240 batting average from him, which isn't too far from the league average these days, especially early on here. But slow start, wouldn't worry about that. Wilson Contreras, another slow starter, but he's still a little bit more under control. K rate wise, at least 26% K rate, 18% walk rate. He's not swinging much. 45% swing rate for Contreras. That's actually pretty close to league average. Trevor Story, by the way, 56% swing rate, swinging probably too much. Contreras, 333 on base, just hasn't really slugged it yet. 1 home run, 9.5% barrel rate, 318 expected WOBA. That's decent, about a 188 XBA. Angles haven't been good, 67% ground ball rate. I don't know. What are you going to do? None of these guys you move on. I probably should just skip over the guys that are like, you just plug them in. Like we'll revisit it in 3 weeks here when we're back on here. But I guess we're here to talk about players. So Roman Anthony, 35% K rate, a little bit of a slow start for him as well, hitting 235, 297 on base percentage. So the 1 home run, but only an 8% walk rate, 38% swing rate. It seems like the walks should come. He's just not out of the gate in good fashion. Kind of a little bit of alarm about just stuff we had coming into the year with Roman Anthony. It was 57% ground ball rate this year. That backs up kind of the worry that we thought that he would strike out a bit, and we thought that he would just hit a lot of ground balls, and that's been the problem so far. Only a 19% fly ball rate for Anthony in his 37 plate appearances, but obviously you're continuing to start him. Wilyer Abreu has been their guy, 3 homers, a 1.302 OPS. I'm going to move over to my fantasy team and make sure he's in the lineup today, because I think I might have benched him, and because he's up against Woodruff. But yeah, those numbers should not be benched. So we're going to go ahead and get Wilyer Abreu in there. I have Jordan Walker. Should I just sit? We'll just go ahead and sit Jordan Walker for now. We'll just park him on the bench, see if that keeps up. But Wilyer Abreu, good signs. Did I say that he started every game? Abreu 9 games. Yes, they've only faced 1 lefties, but he made that start. So that kind of backs up what they were saying about they're going to play him every day, or most days. Jaron, more often than last year at least. Abreu was kind of a platoon guy last year. Jaron Duran has sat, like we said, against a lefty. He is 1 start against lefties. No, I guess not. I guess he has made the 1 start against lefties. He's been down twice against righties for whatever reason, but slow start for him as well. Just hitting 200, no homers, 5% barrel rate, 29% K rate. But again, keep going. Marcelo Meyer, here's maybe a more interesting guy at 10% ownership, 708 OPS so far, a homer, a 264 expected WOBA, that's really bad. 163 XBA, that's really bad. A 20% barrel rate, though. It's got some barrels. It's always had a little bit of power. 67% hard hit rate. 28 plate appearances, so good that he's hitting the ball hard. Striking out a lot, though. 36% strikeout rate, 43% swing rate. That's low, so he's pretty patient. And the contact rate at 56% is a pretty disastrous number there. So not a lot of confidence about Marcelo Meyer, but you keep an eye on him there. Good to see him playing most days out of the gate. So yeah, harder to really make any judgments about hitters this early on. 30 plate appearances is pretty much nothing to go off of. Pitching wise, 2-3 starts can give you some idea. Connolly early, as we shift over to the Boston pitchers, has actually no, not quite. He's made 2 starts, so it's been early for 2. Crochet, Gray, Ronher, Suarez for 2 starts, and then Brian Bello. Bayo has made 1 start. He'll make his 2nd today. So that's been the rotation. Bayo, Crochet, early, Gray, and Suarez. Ronher, Suarez, really bad out of the gate. I'm not even going to quote ERAs and stuff, but we're going to look at the underlying stuff that might be somewhat close to stabilizing. Nothing's really close to stabilizing yet, but not good for Suarez. And this is a guy that always has started hot, right? He's always been the guy that people kind of don't draft, and then he has these killer April and Mays, and everybody's like, why didn't we like this guy? And then he falls apart late. So I don't know. It's been 2 or 3 years of that. It's not something that will stay. So I think he's kind of fringy for I'm not saying you drop him. He's 88% owned. You definitely don't drop him. But if you're loaded up at pitcher and you just want to sit him until he kind of figures something out, or just proves that this is total randomness, but only a 7.8% swing and strike rate for Ronher Suarez. By the way, it's Ronher, right? It's not even Ranger. So we've been calling him that wrong the whole time. 4.63 JA Sierra, 4.86 JA ERA, which looks at more of the granular stuff. 41.2% strike rate. Hasn't been good. It's given up a few homers. 13.3% barrel rate. Pretty disastrous start for Suarez after getting that massive contract, but better times ahead. I just, nobody was really thinking he was a great pick this year anyway. Conley early, a lot of walks, 38% ball rate, 10% K minus walk, driven by 15% walk rate. We don't expect that to continue on. He'll improve in that, but at the same time, we haven't seen him in the majors a ton. 401 JA Sierra, 25% K rate is fine, but a 9.8% swing strike rate, not the crispest start for early. But again, it's early, right? It's very early. And he's a guy that relies a lot on pitch sequencing and different pitches and stuff. So he just doesn't quite have if he doesn't quite have the feel for some of these, he could be a guy that just will get it going and figure it out. And once he's, when he's got all his stuff going, he's going to be really hard to hit. Crochet, what are you going to say? 28% K minus walk out of the gate. No problems there. Sonny Gray, 7.8% swing and strike rate. That's very low. That goes to a 19% K rate for Sonny Gray, 2.4% walk rate. I don't know. You don't do anything with Sonny Gray, but I didn't really care for him. We were kind of just watching out for the home run problem for him. And he's got a 58% ground ball rate so far, so that's good news. But it looks like, I think Johan Oviedo, he went to the bullpen, but I think he's hurt now. So it doesn't look like there's much of a problem for Connolly early for like job security. But if he's going to keep walking dudes, like I'm sure they're going to give him a good 7 or 8 start leash. They obviously like him a lot. But you have Tolley. I saw he made a minor league start down there this year. He threw 6 innings yesterday, April 5th in AAA, 6 innings, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 home run. So this is a team with a depth. I mean, they still have Cutter Crawford, right? So it's not the longest leash for some of these guys, and it's not going to be Suarez or Gray or Crochet or Bayo losing the job. Those guys are all on long-term contracts, I believe. At least Crochet, Suarez, and Bayo are. So early, I don't know, he's got to have a couple good starts soon to really lock that down. I wouldn't be worried. I would keep starting him for now. But maybe you can, I don't know, there's just maybe a little bit more risk than you thought. Maybe if you can explore the trade markets there and redraft just to see like if somebody will give you a return that is better than it should be. Let's go to the Blue Jays, the division winners, World Series appearance from last year. They're off to a slow start, I believe. The guys that have started every day are Andres Jimenez, Ernie Clement, George Springer, Okamoto, and Vlad. Dalton Varsho has started 8 games, and after that, it's kind of a mix and match. Addison Barger is now hurt, so they're going to throw some other guys in here. But the lineup has been Springer, and then it's been strange because they don't have like a 2-hitter. They won't move Vlad out of third, which is just an interesting thing, right? Like, so Vlad's the 3 guy, and he hasn't moved from that. Instead, in the 2 hole, it's been Jesus Sanchez against righties. The 4 times for Sanchez in there. Davis Schneider in there 3 times against lefties, I think. And Nathan Luke's in there twice. So they're kind of just rotating these bad hitters in at second when it's just like, to me, why not just move Vlad to 2? Why do you want Davis Schneider getting another at bat before Vlad does? But what do I know? So hitting cleanup has been a mixture too. Okamoto has hit 4th. He's hit 5th twice. He's hit 4th 4 times, 5th twice. Okamoto has, and then he's hit 7th 3 times. Strangely, Addison Barger has also hit 4th, but he's on the IL now. Alejandro Kirk, I think he's hurt as well, right? Didn't he just go on the IL? So it's going to be a big old, kind of an ugly mixture of things for the Blue Jays. And Okamoto, we'll have to get the hitter stats up. We'll take a look at him, see how he's doing early on because we just had no sample for him. Andres Jimenez, though, and Erling Clement, they've been hitting in the bottom third of the lineup, but they played every day. Andres Jimenez has looked good so far. Just wouldn't really be buying into that. But let's look at some of these hitter stats for the Blue Jays. It's been a slow start overall. As a team, they're hitting, looks like 238, a 673 OPS, 10 homers. Still not striking out, but the XBA team is 271. Okay, so maybe just a lot of bad luck here. 272 team BABIP, 271 XBA for the team. Blue Jays, 333 expected WOBA. So a lot better than they've actually turned in. So that's good news for the Blue Jays fans and stuff. George Springer, 2 homers, but otherwise 30% K rate, slow start. Keep going for him. I don't have any of him, but what you like, again, is another guy. You're not going to do anything with George Springer for at least a month, unless if this stuff's keeping up in a month, then you have to maybe start thinking about stuff. But yeah, I just keep repeating myself. We're just going to breeze past the guys that we're not moving on. Let's talk about Okamoto early signs. I'd like to look at the swing rate with brand new players. 41% swing rate for him, so he's been very patient. 62% contact rate. That's not a great sign. It's very low. And that has turned into a 44% K rate. Maybe that's why the lineup has been pushed down a little bit. Looks a little bit overmatched, maybe, but it's got 2 homers, got a 12% barrel rate, 29% air pull. We kind of knew he was an air pull guy, right? So maybe he'll be a Isak Paredes type dude with more strikeouts. I don't know. 39 plate appearances, a 62% contact rate definitely tells you something. It's not like he's going to be an 85% contact rate guy. We can say pretty surely he's going to have like at least an above average K rate, even with the 2 weeks of data on it. Like a 62% contact rate tells you something. Or maybe I don't know, maybe it's just an adjustment period because he's never seen this level of pitching. But to me, it's just kind of why I didn't want to mess with these rookie dudes. And we'll look at Murakami next week, I guess. But a lot of strikeouts for Okamoto. Can he adjust? We'll have to find out. Yeah, Jimenez has 2 homers. He's got a 7.4% barrel rate, so those two things don't really match up. But he's been good early on, hitting 273, 515 slug. I guess if you just need like a stolen base, everyday playing time middle infielder, you can go for Jimenez, but I wouldn't expect the power stuff to keep up at all. And the batting average have been pretty unreliable. He's usually a good batting average guy. Usually that's a reasonable expectation, but the XBA is only 243 so far. So Jimenez definitely overperforming. Definitely would not expect like the 1 homer a week that he's given you so far. Obviously not. Like he's a dude that'll give you half a homer per week, something like that, like a 12, 13 homer pace guy. Dalton Varsho's slow out of the gate, no homers after that big spring, right? What's it tell you? Like Varsho had 6 or 7 homers in spring and now comes out in 31 plate appearances, has a 4.2% barrel rate and no homers. Good news is a 301 expected batting average, a 16% K rate. That's very low for him. Good sign. And a 327 expected WOBA. So a 208 BABIP has killed him, but he's always a low BABIP guy. He's just a fly ball hitting, higher strikeout rate guy. Although interestingly, like he hasn't even done those 2 things. He has no homers and a 17% fly ball rate. So I'm guessing he gets back to who he's always been, which is a guy that hits home runs at a good pace, but has a really bad batting average. And he used to steal bases, but I don't think that's part of his game anymore. Maybe 8 to 10 steals or something like that. Let's go to the pitching where we have a little bit more to work with. Dylan Cease looks excellent, 41% K rate in 2 starts. Kevin Gossman, even better, 53% K rate. So Cease and Gossman have been the best 1-2 in the league so far. Not saying that will maintain. After that, Eric Lauer had a big start against the Athletics. They all kind of just, the Athletics really just handed over a lot of strikeouts in that first series. So Lauer sits here with a 28% K rate. 15.4% swing and strike rate. Shouldn't expect that from Eric Lauer, but a little bit underrated. Max Scherzer is going to probably get a little bit roughed up tonight against the Dodgers. You might be listening to this after, but at the time of me saying this, he hadn't given up those home runs yet. I'm guessing he will. But a 9.6% swing and strike rate in that 1 start. We'll have to update that tomorrow, but not a lot to talk about. We don't have Savage back. He's working his way back. So far, it's been like Scherzer, Mason Fluhardt. He made a start. So that's been the 5. Now, Scherzer will stay in there while he's healthy, but he's not going to stay healthy. He's going to have some time off. I think they're probably just hoping that they can get Savage back and have that 1 through 5 cooking for a little while, and we'll see what they do if Scherzer does. Or I think you could even say when. Like, there's just no chance of Scherzer throwing 30 starts out here. Let's do the Orioles. Playing time-wise, it's been Ward, Henderson, Alonso, 1, 2, 3, every single game. Adley Rutschman has been the 4 guy, 6 out of 9 games. Samuel Basallo has played himself 7 games. So Basallo and Rutschman, it has been mostly a catcher DH rotation. So they played 9 games. Basallo has 7 starts. Rutschman has 6. So neither guy's every day. They're not quite alternating every single day, but pretty good sign for both of them. I mean, Basallo has more starts than Rutschman, and Rutschman started 2 out of 3. I don't really think you need Rutschman for 10, 12-team league fantasy leagues. Like, I would probably take someone else with more upside, including Basallo, because, early sign is that they want, I don't know, maybe it's too early to even say this, but Basallo has more starts than Rutschman, which you really wouldn't have expected. Dylan Beavers, slow start right away. Like, I think he got benched 2 times early on, but 7 starts now. He's just been sat down twice. That's good. He's hit 5th once and 6th 5 times, and he's hit 8th once. So things are looking better for Beavers than they were a week ago. And then it's kind of this mixture of infielders. Blaze Alexander, Kobe Mayo, 6 starts. Jeremiah Jackson has found himself 6 starts. Tyler O'Neill just 5. Leody Taveras 3. So Ryan Mountcastle has been the guy just not playing, only 1 start, probably only against lefties for him. So it's basically Ward, Alonso, Henderson, the everyday guys, and then it's kind of tough. Cowser, Beavers. I mean, these guys are all healthy right now, so it's tough to find everyday reps, but one injury or anything like that will help everybody else around him. Tyler O'Neill does seem to be like fewer starts for O'Neill than Jeremiah Jackson, which wasn't quite expected. So I'm feeling pretty good about Beavers. They kind of mess with us the first week, but he's been starting every day for them since then. So that's good news for our boy Dylan Beavers. But again, it's Ward, Henderson, and Alonso 1, 2, 3 every single game so far. But a slow start. Pirates just swept them. I watched it. It happened. 685 team OPS, only 6 homers, 2 for Gunnar, 1 for Alonso, 1 for Basayo, 1 for Beavers, 1 for O'Neill. A lot of strikeouts, 27% K rate. Slow start for the Orioles. I think you just keep going with Basayo. You definitely do, but just shows a little bit of growing pains here. I mean, 39% K rate for Basayo, 3.6% walk rate. Like that kind of power with that little experience is going to turn into strikeouts. Power guys strike out a lot, I think, because the bat speed is actually a detriment. Like the bat's getting through the hitting zone quicker, so there's less time to make contact, and it's also like an uppercut swing a lot of the time. So just a lot of more opportunities for whiffs, and that's fine. It's fine if Basayo strikes out a lot, but we just want the homers, and we haven't quite got that yet. But a 12.5% barrel rate leads the team, so I would keep going with Basayo. Dylan Beavers, again, like he got dropped a lot, 3% owned. That might actually in actuality that's higher, but he's probably available pretty much all over the place. Hitting 308 all of a sudden. Expected batting average 247. So that's not as good. 272 expected WOBA is not great. Only 4.8% barrel rate. But we liked Beavers before. Kind of the only reason we were moving off of him is because it looked like maybe he wouldn't play, but that's kind of behind us now. So I would say good news overall for Beavers. And then, Ward, Henderson, Alonso. Henderson's looking really good early on. The numbers aren't quite there, but a 331 expected WOBA is really good. 250 BABIP's been low. So that's the Orioles side on the hitting, at least. The pitching wise, it's been Trevor Rogers, Shane Baz, Kyle Bradish, Chris Bassett, and Zach Eflin. Now Eflin got hurt, so we'll see who they fill in with that. But they've had 9 starts, and that's how they've broken down. And actually, we probably already know because it was Bassett just yesterday, so it's Eflin's spot due up today, and it's Jared Young. So not a great situation there for the 5 guy. They're going to miss Eflin, I think. Not a great start for Trevor Rogers, 16% K rate. Same with Baz, only a 19.6% K rate for Baz. Swinging strike rates for Rogers, 12.3%, for Baz, 13.1%. Baz looks pretty good under the hood, 3.74 JA Sierra. That means the whiffs are okay and the ball rate is pretty good. So I like, you're obviously still starting all of these guys, Rogers, Baz, Bradish. Chris Bassett, I think, is kind of bad. I don't think there was any real reason to go for him. Streamer, maybe, but he just hasn't been good at all. Cade Povich got called back up. He was working in a piggyback role, I think, just yesterday. We'll see what they do with him. I'm guessing, kind of makes sense that he would take the 5th spot after he can get into the groove of it. So I would expect probably Povich to make the next start in 5 games or whatever for that. So that's the Orioles situation. No real movement points in fantasy leagues. We got to go to the last team, the Rays. We got to see what Chandler Simpson is up to. 8 of 9 starts for Simpson. 9 starts, all 9 games for Aranda, Caminero, and Yandy. So it's been Yandy leading off every game. It's been Aranda hitting 2 or 3. It's been Caminero hitting 3 or 4, mostly 4. And then Mullins has a strange start as a third hitter. Simpson was the third hitter. Simpson's lineup spots have been all over the place. He's hit 3rd, he's hit 5th, he's hit 6th twice, he's hit 8th 3 times, he's hit 7th once. But good news, Simpson. The biggest thing with him, we knew he'd steal bases, we knew he would get some hits. Just it was do they trust him enough to play him? And so far, the answer is yes. 8 of 9 starts for Chandler Simpson, so good news there. Carson Williams had made 6 starts, but now Taylor Walls is back, and they like that guy for whatever reason. So Williams is back to AAA, so Walls will be the shortstop. And then after that, it's a bunch of weird platooning. Palacios has 5 starts, Jake Fraley has 5 starts, Hunter Fiducia and Nick Fortes are splitting catcher duties. Johnny DeLuca has 4 starts. It's all pretty ugly, but Aranda, Caminero, Yandy. I believe they just are going home today. I think this is the first game in the Trop today. Could be wrong about that. But yeah, they play at 4:10 against the Cubs. I don't know. I could be wrong, but is it worth looking up right now? So I think so. Let's just do it. I'm pulling it up. They had 3 straight road series, so they are finally playing back in the Trop. Definitely after you're listening to this. So we'll see if that does turn out to hurt them. But it's been a pretty good start to the year for Yandy, and Some others, Tampa Bay hit stats coming at you here. Aranda leads the team in plate appearances, but a 751 OPS, 2 homers, 20.5% K rate. So fine start for Aranda, not the greatest results, but 2 homers. So Yandy Diaz has been the man. 405 average, 2 homers, 488 on base, 649 slug, 14% K rate. So the power has continued to get 20-some homers last year, which I didn't think he would repeat, kind of because it's home ballpark and they haven't played there yet. But 45% ground ball rate, that's high-ish, but it's low for Yandy. So, you're happy that you took the value on him. And again, Chandler Simpson hitting 382, 0 homers, of course. 5.4% K rate, though, and 91% contact rate. And that's not even zone contact rate. That's a 91% overall contact rate. 291 XBA, 406 BABIP. The BABIP's going to be very high. It's not going to be 400, but yeah, Simpson, very positive start to the year. You should be feeling pretty good about that. Outside of Aranda, Diaz, Caminero, and Simpson, though, I don't really think there's anyone near standard league consideration for the Rays. Let's check out their pitching and wrap this bad boy up. Joe Boyle is kind of the story. Drew Rasmussen, we'll start with him real quick, but you just keep starting him when you took Rasmussen as your SP or SP3 or SP4, and he hasn't given you any reason to think anything differently. 25% K rate, 2.5% walk rate, just throwing a bunch of quality strikes, not getting hit hard. Exactly 5 innings each time, though. That seems to be the most likely thing. Now, he's thrown 81 pitches per game. They can definitely build onto that up to 90. I'm not saying he'll never get 6 innings. He definitely will. But he's got to be super, super efficient. Like, he probably has to finish the 5th inning with fewer than 75 pitches to come out for a 6th inning. It's just what they want to do with him. That's pretty clear now. So not great for quality starts leagues, but super good ratios for Rasmussen. That's always been the case. Shane McClanahan, let's look at him. He has only made 1 start, so not a good sample yet, but it wasn't great. 8.9% swinging strike rate in that 1 start. Velo was not great, but maybe he's still ramping up, taking it slow. We need a lot more data on McClanahan to really do anything with him. I don't think you have to start him. Like, if you have somebody decent, maybe you just wait and see what you have, because I'm still thinking it could go pretty poorly for McClanahan. I just don't know. He's had all this time off, all these injuries. You just don't really know yet. So, but the guy to talk about is Joe Boyle. I mean, he's like 1 low walk start away from me saying people should pick him up. It's only 6.5% walk rate early on. Only, I think, 0 walks his first time and 3 the second time. But, he can play. He's got a 9% walk rate. If that's where it settles, like, that's a must-own for Joe Boyle, because this stuff is so good. We'll see. I still doubt it. Like, what are the chances that he finally figures this out? But 28% K rate early on so far, 14.5% swinging strike rate for Boyle, 89.5 pitches per game. So he's gotten deep. Maybe he's making a step forward and will be 12-team relevant. Just some bullpen stuff. I haven't talked about any bullpen guys, which I probably should have, saves wise and stuff. I'll have to keep that in mind for next time. Sorry. But Griffin Jacks, has had a really bad start for sure. He's thrown 4 innings and it's not been good at all, but it's Griffin Jacks. Like, he's been elite for 3-4 years. You're not just it's not like he all of a sudden is just terrible, unless he's hurt, which we'll know sooner or later. But wouldn't move on Griffin Jacks. Wouldn't have really, but felt great about drafting him either, though, because they're just not going to give one guy the saves. It's not how it works in Tampa. So tough sledding in Tampa Bay, all over the place, but Simpson's looking good. Joe Boyle is someone to watch. Rasmussen, Aranda, Yandy, Caminero, just do what you were going to do with those guys. And that's it. We'll be back later this week, I hope, with a look at the the NL East as we bounce back through these geographic divisions, whatever. And maybe I'll do a better job. I don't like solo pods, but that's it. Thanks for listening. MLBDataWarehouse.com. Subscribe. See you.